here.
Let's get
We've
it.
got Mohammed, who says, Cam, are you confident our coach, aka Hulk Hogan, won't make the same airhead mistakes like the previous 2 seasons on game days? I'm very skeptical.
Well, listen to me, brother. I think honestly, like I was as mad as anyone after the Georgia Tech debacle. Maybe more so. Like when I was sitting in the interview room that day, I like literally, not figuratively or facetiously or like that. No, literally was biting my tongue in my cheek so I didn't speak because it was not going to be what I wanted it to be. I think I lost my headphones. No, there we go. Got it. On that. But I think that we saw some development from him through. Can you not hear me?
No, we got you. It just
Okay, cool.
dropped considerably, but it's where it needs to be. It was a little loud. I think it's fine.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep,
Sorry.
you're fine. You're good.
Got it. As I was saying, sorry about that technical difficulty really quickly. I think that even through the end of last season, you saw Mario update his process a little bit, specifically in terms of timeouts that he used and just other game management things. And I think that had to happen because there was such a spotlight on him after Georgia Tech. Like, WTF, bro. Like, you literally stole defeat from the hands of victory for vanity. Like, whatever, he'll deny it till his dying day. The only reason that you run the ball there is to try to get Donald Chaney a 100-yard day. That's the only reason you do it. And yes, Donald Chaney was down. They got the call wrong, But after you do all of that, everybody is looking at you. Everybody across the sport, not even those of us who are like niche fans and like had talked about it, and I wrote an article about it, and I asked Justin Tattavio to evaluate it, and hearing from Oregon fans, and like not even those who are like super dialed in, like my mother is a casual, like very casual, but I love sports. I will always watch sports, so she knows a little bit about sports. My mother called me and asked me about that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the level of everybody I'm talking about who's going to be
talked about during the NFL games the next day, all over the place.
God, yeah, I mean, it was the talk of the sports world. But even so far as like, like I'm in my 40s, so my mother, extrapolate that is, older than me. So like, you have people in her age cadre, and even without a connection to sports, who are like, so tell me, this Mario Cristobal or Christopher guy or whoever, right? He's doing what? That's the level of scrutiny that he was under. But I will give credit where credit's due. A small step is still a step. And I believe that maybe we did see him take a couple small steps forward in game management areas. It needs to stay there and improve further. Am I confident in it? No, because people have a tendency to go back to what's comfortable for them. And I do think that is, I think what we saw was in the level of comfort. And again, he had done something similar to that when he was at Oregon. So that definitely seems like it's comfortable and familiar for him. I am hopeful that with another year's experience, even though like he's in his 50s and been coaching for a while, with the experiences of last year, hopefully being the laughing stock of the sports world, in like total inclusive, hopefully that was enough for him to say, you know what, I've gotten by on, gut feelings and I'm just watching Law and Order. What do they call it? The gut instinct and the hunches. I've gotten by on that, and I have to dial in a demonstrable, repeatable system now, because the hunches and the gut feelings and going with the flow and whatever clearly hasn't worked. And it's similar to what we talked about with Al Golden and with Mark Richt. You have to, if you're not getting the results that you want, you have to update your process. And I'm hopeful at this point that he's doing that. It seems like he's doing it a little bit with roster construction, because he had to go out and, let's be honest, he had to go out and pay Cam Ward to come here. And hey, it's within the structure of how you build a team now, so fine, whatever. But you went and did that, so you got another NFL caliber potential quarterback like you had in Justin Herbert. You go and, build mostly from the recruiting, from the high school ranks, but really leaning in even heavier than before on the transfer portal, updating a couple things here, maybe obviously doing things differently from a schematic standpoint on offense with Shannon Dawson as opposed to what we had seen from a Mario Cristobal coach team before. But yeah, hopefully for me, the game management errors are, I won't even say eliminated because I don't think that that's realistic, but lessened dramatically. I don't necessarily have faith that it's going to happen. I need to see it before I believe it. But I understand where you're coming from with your skepticism because that makes sense.
I'm going to draw a very bad analogy, but this is the best I can come up with. And this is in no way a defense for Mario Cristobal, but this is in the small way in which I understand his actions in that game and trying to get Donald Chaney 100 yards. Let's say you're driving on a road that's desolate, there's not a soul in sight, and you just received a text from a buddy, and your response to them is going to be more effective if it's immediate and there is virtually nothing that can happen wrong. But obviously we all know that there becomes a minuscule possibility once you draw your attention away from your driving. Who knows if there's a little kid that could come out of absolutely nowhere, whatever it could be. But it's so minuscule that the timing of it could happen that you think, I really want to get this text out. And I know it's kind of stupid, but it can't happen that something's going to happen, right? There is no one. Just like, what are the odds? The odds are minuscule that there's a fumble. How many fumbles does Donald Chaney have and how many carries in his career? It's 2% or whatever it is. And then on top of that, they lose the fumble. They don't recover. That's like a 50-50. You add all these probabilities together and that the defense gives up when the defense had been rock solid the entire night and Georgia Tech had been awful on offense, that they give up a 75 or 80-yard drive inside of 50 seconds and all those crazy plays happen, the one on the sideline. And then, so he was incredibly unlucky as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things like, yeah, I'm, driving. Yeah. Like you're saying, just in the middle of nowhere the middle of Arizona, 2-lane road. There's nothing around. It might only be a tumbleweed, but then that was really Murphy's Law. I mean, that was worst case scenario at every single turn. However, to Mohammed's point, had he managed the game appropriately, came out and taken a knee, you don't even go anywhere near the room that has Pandora's box. You know what I mean? Like, you're somewhere else down the road. Hey, you're shaking hands already and celebrating, but we'll see. So like I said, I'm hopeful that the small steps in game management development that we saw in the fall continue. And then hopefully he either listens to somebody or somebody speaks up. And I get, trying to lead in a totalitarian way because like when I taught, like, I'm not listening to you. Like, even when my students are like, yo, like Underwood, no, I'm the director. I'm the guy. Shut up. And then eventually, like, okay, like a couple times, more than a couple times, I was very wrong. And then it crashed and burned and whatever. And I would have to say mea culpa or whatever. But yeah, maybe the Mighty Mouse himself, Alex Mirabal, will get up on a step stool and scream at Mario. Maybe Shannon Dawson will keep that same energy for that he had from the end of the Texas A&M game, where he said, like, oh, run it out. Fuck that. I'm going up top. I'm trying to win the game right now. Keep that same energy towards doing whatever needs to be done to secure the win. Like, oh, we want to hand it off to Donald Chaney. Coach, we're going to go take a knee. Shut up. You know what I mean? That's what that would look like. So hopefully somebody who's not Matt Lee, because it seemed like Matt Lee was the only person on the entire program or in the entire program last year who like was dialed in. But even he like snapped the ball and like knew what the play call was. But like, yeah, so hopefully we'll see the progress made stick and also, engender more improvement. But yeah, to your point, he literally became the joke of college football. Again, Mo, even more than that, the joke of the sports world, like entirely. as well as like specifically to the world of college football. But like, yeah, it was even again when when my mother and like some of her friends, like her knitting group friends, her quilting group friends, are that's what I'm talking about. That's the reach that this had. Like the older ladies doing the quilting club at my mother's house in Fort Lauderdale, and I come over and I'm about, wait, oh you like the Miami team, right? Didn't your coach Miss Beverly, are you serious? Like you're at like that was the magnitude of it. So hopefully that is what it was and not what it will be.
Yeah, I had those people in my life too. People that don't comment on sports ask me, what there was some kind of thing, Miami, their coach did something really stupid. What was that?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"Really? You never say anything about sports." There were
exactly.
the national news outlets, the
Hmm.
MSNBCs and the Foxes and the CNNs that never touch sports unless they're just saying, "Oh, the so and so won the Super Bowl." That's the only time they ever mention sports. We're mentioning things about
Hmm.
the Mario Cristobal decision. Yeah.